and then he'll be back on May 4th because he'll be helping me out when I go for surgery. He'll be back in town May 4th, and then that's when I get my truck back.
Well, I couldn't help but notice you said surgery. So everything going okay there, Albert?
Oh, yeah, it's lower back surgery. I hurt my back like 20 years ago, and it got better. And then I hurt it again in September. And now you start getting the sciatica. And my left leg was completely numb, and I was getting burning sensations down my thigh. And they found 2 floating fractures in my L5 pressing up against the S1 nerve. And so I got to go in on May 5th and have those extracted.
So is S1, is that sciatic nerve then?
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds painful.
It is. It is. With the medicines that they give you, the problem is they load you up on prednisone, like the steroid, and it helps with the anti-inflammatory side of it. And then they give you like gabapentin, which is for like nerve control. It eases that burning sensation, but stuff makes you really sleepy. So they're like, you need to take 4 a day. I take 1 a day. I take 2 a day, and it puts me to sleep almost the whole day. So it was really tough just taking the 2. So I went back down to 1. But other than that, it's controllable. I can't do real heavy lifting.
Yeah, I'm familiar with gabapentin because they give that to people with restless leg syndrome, and it just knocks them out. I think that's the effect of it. They just want to give them something to knock them out so they can sleep.
And he told me that he told me I was on the 4 pills was the lowest dose I could take. He's like, most people will take anywhere between 10 to 12. And I'm like, that's insane. I would put me in a coma.
Well, you know, it's no different than someone who's, I guess, experienced at drinking alcohol or any other sort of drug. You know, you get used to it after a while. And people that have been on it for years and years, because I think some of these people, they stay on it forever. So the tolerance is way up on it. And just you come along, probably someone who doesn't really like to take a whole lot of drugs, and it just works magnificently with 1 pill.
I'm like most of your listeners, where I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying. And by the time I get there, they're like, man, you should have been here 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
we could have saved that appendage.
yeah. Did you bring the finger? No, it's in a Ziploc bag in the fridge. I forgot. Oops. But, you know, okay, so with your back, when you injured your back, how did you treat that? Did you try to continue working until it was just no-go or what?
Well, no, I did work, and it was bad. It got to the point where I couldn't barely walk, and I still forced myself to work. It was I was taking a leave. I was putting back patches. I was using hot pads, cold pads, and it was working for more than 5 hours. It was unbearable, but I still did it. There was stuff that needed to be done, so I kind of pushed with it, and they put me on prednisone, and that made it better. But at the prednisone, once you wean off of it, the effects start to come back. And so they're like, well, you can't be on prednisone forever. And they, rescheduled a few. This happened back in September when it really flared up. But, I manage it. I just take a lot of Aleve, which is not great for your body, but it's what helps with the pain.
Yeah, it's tough. All the different things like Aleve, and then you have ibuprofen, then you have Tylenol. All of them have something that it damages if you take it for a long enough period, whether it be your liver or stomach or what. It's very difficult to stay on them for a long period of time. Well, that sucks, man. So the back surgery, is the prognosis going to be that their goal is to make it back to 100% or what?
Right. So they tell me that the surgery is so specialized now that when they do the extraction, that it actually within 30 days, you're going to feel like it never happened. And I actually had a customer who had the exact same surgery about 5 years ago, because he saw me. I was probably about 3 weeks ago. He saw me limping to his gas pack, and he was like, "What's up with your leg?" And I said, "It's the sciatica." And he's like, "You got to get the surgery done." I said, "It's scheduled May 5th." And I said, and he goes, "Yeah, I had it done." And he goes, "The only regret I had was I didn't get it done sooner. I dealt with it for 8 years."
Oh my gosh!
And then he did it, and within 30 days, he was like, it was a new person.
It's so weird that, we'll have something at work. Like I remember one time I had an abscess. I just kept working until it was just, my wife was like, you have to go to the doctor. And like, it was just one slice away from relief. I just wouldn't do it. I just kept on working.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I first hurt myself, I was still working for the department. I worked for a company that was, they were subcontractors for the Department of Defense. and I was what the Air Force would classify as a loadmaster, but I was a civilian contractor for the military, and I actually fell off an airplane, a DC-8. They had pulled the ladder away too far from the airplane. I wasn't paying attention. I slipped through it and slipped between the ladder, and the airplane dropped about 25 feet to the ground. I hurt my back, shattered my hip, and I broke my jaw.
That's
From that jaw,
brutal.
That jaw got an infection, and I got an abscess in it. And I worked with that abscess. It actually bulged out, and I was in Spain, and I couldn't take it no more. And I had to go there, and it was crazy. I went into the hospital. They had the abscess taken out, and I think my bill was like 500 euros. And I remember coming back and having it checked out by my doctor, and he goes, "You got a good deal." He's like, "That's like a $15,000 surgery." And I was like, "That's Europe for you."
500 euros. I forget what euro would be to dollar, but that's probably like what, like $1,000 or something.
Well, it's like it's for every euro, it's like $1.27. Back then, when this happened to me, the euro and the dollar were almost right at face value of each other.